Eala just won again. And if you watched the last video, you already know this was coming. She was called out as a player about to go on a serious run, and she is proving that right with every single match she plays. This week in Dubai, she just beat a woman who was on a 7-match winning streak in straight sets at a WTA 1000 event. That is not a small thing. That is a massive result, and we need to talk about every detail of how it happened and what it means for her future. Before we get into all of that, if you are new here and you love watching tennis and following the rise of young players who are doing special things, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel covers these stories as they happen, and Eala is exactly the kind of story you do not want to miss a single chapter of. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let us get into it. So let us go back a little bit to set the scene. 2 days before this match, Alex beat Jasmine Paolini. If that name does not mean anything to you, Paolini is the world number 8. She was the 6th seed in this tournament, and Alex beat her 6-1, 7-6 in straight sets. That was already a huge win, a statement win. But the thing about momentum in tennis is that winning one big match does not guarantee anything. You still have to come back out the next day or 2 days later and do it all over again against someone completely different who has their own form, their own game plan, and their own reasons to believe they can beat you. Alex's next opponent was Sorana Cirstea, world number 31, a Romanian professional who has been playing on the WTA Tour for 20 years. That is not a typo. 20 years. She turned professional and has been competing at the highest level of women's tennis since some of the people watching this channel were in primary school. And she did not come into this match as someone just happy to be on the court. She came in as one of the hottest players in the entire world right now. 2 weeks before Dubai, Cirstea won the Transylvania Open in Cluj-Napoca, which is her home country tournament in Romania. And the way she won it was almost frightening. She played 5 matches in that tournament and did not drop a single set. Not one. 5 matches, 0 sets lost. And in the final, she played Emma Raducanu, a former US Open champion, and beat her 6-0, 6-2. That is one of the most dominant final scorelines you will ever see against a player of that quality. Over the whole tournament, she only gave away 23 games across 5 matches. That is a level of dominance that is hard to put into words. Then she came to Dubai and kept right on going. She beat Alexandra Sosnovic, then she beat Linda Noskova, who is a top 20 player in the world. That brought her winning streak to 7 matches in a row. 7 straight wins, including a title, including a demolition of a Grand Slam champion. She was playing the best tennis of her entire 2026 season and walking into every match with the kind of confidence that only comes from winning everything in front of you. And then she walked onto the court against a 20-year-old ranked 47th in the world. Eala beat her 7-5, 6-4 in 1 hour and 38 minutes. Let that sink in. A 20-year-old who was not even born when Cirstea started her professional career just ended her 7-match winning streak on a big stage and did it without needing a third set. That result tells you everything about where Alex is right now as a player and as a competitor. Now let's walk through the match itself, because the details here are what make this so good. The first set is where the real drama happened. Cirstea came out playing exactly like a player who had just won a title 2 weeks ago. She was aggressive, she was heavy on the ball, she was using every bit of her experience to control the pace of points and make things difficult for Alex, and it was working. Cirstea got herself to 5-4. She was 1 game away from taking the first set. She was serving with the momentum fully on her side. This is the moment in a match where everything is decided, not just in terms of the score, but in terms of what kind of player you are. Because when you are down 4-5 and the woman on the other side of the net has not lost in 2 weeks, has beaten a former US Open champion 6-0 in a final, and is serving to take the set, most players tighten up. Most players start thinking about protecting their shots instead of playing them. Most players let the weight of the moment change their game, especially at 20 years old, especially in a round of 16 at a WTA 1000 event. Alex did none of that. She broke Cirstea's serve at 5-4. Then she held her own serve to level it at 5-all. Then she broke Cirstea again, 3 games in a row from 4-5 down. The set ended 7-5 in Alex's favor. She stole the set right from under the nose of the hottest player on tour. The crowd inside the stadium went absolutely wild. There were thousands of Filipino fans in the stands, waving their flags and making noise, and when that comeback happened, they completely erupted. Because they understood what they were watching. You do not come back from that position against a player with that kind of form by accident. You do not break serve twice in a row against a player who is locked in and confident unless you were doing something genuinely special. The fans knew it, anyone watching knew it. Think about what it takes mentally to do what Alex did in that moment. You were staring at losing the first set. The opponent has all the confidence in the world. She has 7 wins behind her. She is on her home European circuit. She knows exactly what she is doing out there. And you were 20 years old, in only your second WTA 1000 quarterfinal run, facing a player who has 20 years of professional experience. And instead of shrinking, you raise your level. You find something extra. You make the big shots when you absolutely have to. That kind of mental toughness is not something a coach can drill into you on a practice court. Either you have it or you do not. Alex has it. The second set showed a completely different side of the win. After that comeback in the first set, Alex came out in the second like she had completely taken over the match. She went up 4 games to love against Cirstea, 4-0, against a player who had barely lost a set in 2 weeks. Alex was moving around the court with speed and purpose, hitting her forehand with confidence, making decisions quickly, and executing them cleanly. She looked like a player who had decided the match was hers and was just in the process of confirming it. But here is where it gets interesting, because Cirstea is not the kind of player who rolls over when things get difficult. 20 years as a professional means 20 years of learning how to fight your way back into matches. She started clawing. 4-1 became 4-2, then 4-3, then 5-4. And suddenly, all those Filipino fans who had been celebrating were getting a little nervous, because this is also a story that plays out in tennis all the time. Player builds a big lead, gets tight near the finish line, and the opponent comes back. Alex held serve, 6-4. Match over. No drama, no wobble, no extended fight to the finish. Just a clean hold of serve to close out the match. That is the moment that really tells you how much she has matured. A year ago, maybe that 5-4 situation rattles her. Maybe the thought of the lead slipping away affects her game. But in this match, at this stage of her development, she looked completely in control of her emotions and played the closing games exactly the way you are supposed to. Now there's one more layer to this story that makes everything even better, and it goes back 2 years to the 2024 Madrid Open. Alex was 18 years old when she played Cirstea there in the second round. They played 3 sets, and Alex actually took the second set in a tiebreak. She was in the match, she was competitive, she was right there, but she couldn't finish it. Cirstea's experience proved to be the difference, and Alex went home having come close, but not close enough. That kind of loss stays with a player, when you know you were good enough to win but didn't, when you know you had your chances but couldn't take them. It doesn't just go away. It sits with you during every practice session, during every match you play after that, during every late night in the hotel room when you are reviewing what happened and thinking about what you need to change. It becomes fuel if you're the right kind of person. Alex is the right kind of person. When the draw came out for Dubai and she saw Cirstea's name as a possible opponent, you can guarantee she remembered Madrid. And when they actually played in the round of 16 in Dubai, she didn't just get the win, she got the win in straight sets, coming back from a deficit in the first set and then closing out the second set without giving Cirstea a real look at getting back into it. The 18-year-old who couldn't close it out grew into the 20-year-old who handled it start to finish. That's the whole story of athletic development, right there in one match.
Let us put the entire Dubai tournament in perspective for a second,
because the accumulation of wins here is really something. In the first round, Alex beat Hailey Baptiste. That is a professional player on the WTA Tour. Fine result. Then, in the second round, she beat Jasmine Paolini, world number 8, in straight sets. Then, in the round of 16, she beat Sorana Cirstea, world number 31, who was on a 7-match winning streak, in straight sets. 3 wins in a row, and the last 2 have been against players who are genuinely among the best in the world at this moment, both in straight sets at a WTA 1000 event. You do not do that by riding your luck. You do not string together performances like that by accident. That is a player who is clicking across every part of her game at the same time. Her movement is good, her serve is holding up under pressure, her decision-making in important moments is excellent. Her mental game, as we have just talked about, is at a completely different level than it was even a year ago. Everything is working together right now. And her ranking is reflecting it. After this win, Alex's live ranking is projected to move to around number 38 in the world. That is a new career high. She was already the first Filipino player to break into the top 40 in WTA history, and now she is pushing that record even further, at 20 years old. Most players on the WTA Tour are still trying to figure out who they are as competitors and what their game looks like under pressure in their mid-20s. Alex is already doing it at 20 and rewriting history at the same time. The ceiling on this player, if she continues to develop at this rate, is genuinely hard to put a limit on. Now, the quarterfinal. Alex's next opponent is Coco Gauff, world number 4, Grand Slam champion, one of the biggest names in women's tennis and one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet right now. Gauff had to battle hard just to get to the quarterfinal, going down a set against Elise Mertens in the third round before coming back to win in 3 sets, including a wild tiebreak in the second set. So she knows how to compete and how to win when things are not going smoothly. Is Gauff the favorite for the quarterfinal? Yes, absolutely. World number 4 does not happen by chance, and she has proven at the highest level of this sport that she can win the big matches when they matter most. Anyone telling you otherwise is not being straight with you. But after watching what Alex has done this week, counting her out would be a serious mistake. She just came back from 4-5 down against a player on a 7-match winning streak. She just beat a top 10 player 2 days ago. She has thousands of fans in that stadium who are going to bring an atmosphere that most players on tour have never experienced. And she is playing with a freedom and a level of belief that makes her capable of beating anyone she faces right now. The story of this tournament, the revenge win over Cirstea, the comeback from 4-5 in the first set, the cool and calm way she closed the match out, it's one of the best tennis stories of 2026 so far. A young player who took a tough loss 2 years ago, went away and put in the work, came back to the same tournament and handled the same opponent on a bigger stage. You genuinely cannot write it better than that. Whatever happens in the quarterfinal against Gauff, Alex Eala has already done something remarkable this week. But if you want to see how that match plays out and get the full breakdown afterwards, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss it. This story is only getting better.